Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So thank you for joining me today. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you did. I'm here today just basically doing a little bit of a mixed video, but mostly to say congratulations to Louisa Heinzel on the exciting milestone of 20,000 subscribers. Amazing. That's so, although also not amazing because Louisa's content is so much fun. She's an amazing artist and she's just an altogether funny and really interesting and really cool person. So I just want to say thank you to her for the great content and also congratulations, because I also just recently passed my 1,000 subscriber milestone because, you know, I haven't been out there doing any of this stuff as long as most people, but I really appreciate that she was actually a part of that along with Barbara, because many of you found me through Defemorember. So it's nice to have a community of really sharing supportive artists who can use their own popularity to kind of build the community more, and the rest of us all benefit from that work. So it's a nice thing, and I do want to just say that it's nice to give back a little. So that being said, Louisa has a really exciting challenge as part of this milestone to create a tag from some lovely freebies, which she offers all the time, which is nice, of her digital digital freebies that she has shared. And it has this really sweet little focal point that I love. It's like a little Nomi Louisa to me anyhow. It's very cute. So I'm going to make a tag today, which is part of the challenge, and you can win prizes and all sorts of things. So that's pretty much what I want to do today. I do also want to mention one other thing. So a while ago, Louisa made a video that was, it's a collaboration with another German YouTuber who I completely forget. I think it's Bullenhood. Yes, it's Susanne from Bullenhood Art, I believe. They're doing a 365-day journal for this year, and they sort of started theirs in January, and the concept of what to fill this journal with is that you have one page where one line is your journal entry for the day. So it's for those of us who don't really have a lot of time to journal but still want to write a bit. Maybe for those who prefer to do art rather than writing, it still will give you a little bit of a log of your year. So I only started this in March, I think the beginning of March or the end of February I made the journal, and I'm calling mine Spring to Spring. So it's going to be something that you'll see recurring here on the channel, where I'm doing some kind of work in this journal. And I just wanted to mention that the idea has been ignited by Louisa and Susanna's challenge. So the journal, as I made it, it's made from one of my eco-printed fabrics that has been printed with what is castor plant. So they're these big beautiful leaves, and it's printed on a vintage silk napkin. So I'll just open it up so you can see. It's really fun print. And then I just stamped on some muslin and stitched it to the front and added some lace here. And it's a very simple journal, and that's exactly what I wanted for this, just an earthy feeling kind of journal. And then the inside has some fabric that's very watery to me with silver highlights. So this is my March page, nothing too exciting to show you there, except that it's one line a day. I haven't written anything particularly private, so then I'm just adding different bits of personal art to it. So I'm hoping that maybe you can help me with this a bit as my subscribers. And this is the same concept that Louisa is using. Ask me, she calls it you ask, I answer. I'm saying just ask me anything, like a typical YouTube AMA. And I will take those questions and I will make a piece of, work on camera answering the question and talking a little bit about my life. Louise has also opened up the invitation to anyone who wants to participate to use the questions that she's answering as prompts, so I'll probably do a bit of that as well. And then I'm also just adding personal art into this book. So a while ago, I created this piece as part of my Use Your Book series, which I need to get back to. I'm just in the middle of another series right now. And so this piece I felt, because I have my daughter here, this is one of my digitals of my little moonbee mushroom kids or toadstool kids. I thought it would be a nice thing to add in here, and it was nice to keep this piece that I made. And then this is my latest watercolor palette from my Fine Tech Pearlescent Colors. So I just wanted to do that in there just for the fun of it. And then I did do one piece from the first prompt that Louisa had answered, which is, where did you get your name, or the story of your name? So I did this piece to answer that. And my name, of course, is Cindy. And I got my name. It was actually given to me by my grandmother, which is interesting. I talked to my mother about it, and it's my dad's mother that you see her here. Her name was Leona. And I thought, like, I'm an only child, and it's so interesting to imagine just allowing your husband's mother, your mother-in-law, who my mother is actually, she was very close to. She was like a mother to her, more than her own mother, really. And imagine letting someone else name your child, though. That for me was such a stretch of my own comfort zone. I think that I would be, especially if it was my only child or my first child, I think I'd have a hard time with that. But my mother is also one of the most sharing, giving people that I know. So that doesn't really surprise me a whole lot about her. So what I've said here is that this page is a tribute to my paternal grandmother, Leona. She gave me the name Cindy, and I have very fond memories of her. I was the most present grandchild in her life during my time with her. She had a family of 10 children, and she was very loving, and she was a great cook, and she crocheted. I used to love hunting through her button bin, like so many of us with our grandparents, and she saved all of her holiday cards from her large family in big boxes that she would keep on the floor in her closet. And so she would let me go through these boxes and cut up these greeting cards and make, scrapbooks out of them. I also remember that I used to think she dressed like the Queen, with these really colorful floral polyester dresses and shirts and colorful slacks, as she called them. I look back on it now and I think there's got to be kudos to give to the women of like the 60s and 70s who wore all of that thick, hot polyester, and they did so with like such, I don't know, effortlessness. And then also, like, I talked a little bit about my nicknames from my life. When I was a kid, my dad called me Toad. And I don't know why, other than probably I was always catching frogs and toads and then gently releasing them. I just have always loved frogs and toads. And throughout my life, everyone has always called me Studioloo. That's actually the origin story of my business name, Studioloo, because I've always been Studioloo to so many people. So this is a collage sort of that I did. This is a picture of my grandmother in one of her polyester big collared shirts. And I just kind of crowned her with some gold leaves. And I made the page very pink and floral, and I punched out some buttons here to kind of reminisce about her button box. And I made these little cards. They remind me of the greeting cards, so they're like little flips of paper. And this is just kind of the essence of my grandmother. Definitely colorful, floral, creative, and she was a very loving person who really gave her life to her family. She really was an amazing woman. So that is the first and kind of the brief part of my journal, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm really enjoying the possibilities of what we will do over the next year or so. But now I'm going to hop into making this tag. So Louisa does give you this background tag here. There's lots of different elements. I probably could have printed them and shown them to you whole, but you can see them on her channel or on her website. You can find them. So this is her background tag that she provided. I'm not going to use it exactly as is. I'm going to tear from it as a background because I want to, again, introduce an element of eco-printed cloth, I think. And I have this one that was printed with sumac. I also have like this doily that I really like. But I'm also thinking about green. I might end up going with like some of this green. This was from a dress. I'm thinking about green because I'm thinking about gnomes. So I'm just pulling from, I have this bin beside me and I have some of my hand spun yarn. I might put some elements of that. So yeah, okay. Just looking for a couple more elements here that might make sense. This one's a little too patterned. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Something that has some kind of nice background. Neutral. So let's just pop all the stuff aside, and first we can size the tag to the size that I want it to be. So I think a little bit wider. And a little bit shorter. And then I'm just going to glue these two flips of paper together here for my tag base. And I think I want to just go ahead probably and glue some fabric directly on here. So I'm just going to cover this whole thing with glue. Probably to about there. And then I want to use this bit here. And I'm going to be stitching around this, so don't worry if it looks like that will never hold. I'm going to fix it, I promise. So now we'll just cut the excess fabric away. Probably shouldn't have worn this dress with these big flouncy sleeves today. Makes it a little more interesting to work. There we go. Okay. Let's get these little scraplets out of here. Okay. So now I think I'm just going to tear a little bit of this. And I'm going to lay it, I think, over just the seams of the cloth. Go. Just kind of line that up. I have to probably go around and trim a little more fabric, but we'll see. That's actually fine. Okay. I get my art glitter glue here and my Fabri-Tac, both of them, because I'll probably need both of them. So there's also these beautiful sunflowers, and I think I may want to use a couple of them in the one in the background maybe, but I first will need to ink up the edges here. So just a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely covered because I think I'm going to be spraying the whole tag at the end of all of this. So there's also these clocks, there's butterflies, there's little notes. And I really like this clock. And I'm thinking I might have the sunflower in the middle of the clock. And a butterfly kind of off to the side. I'm going to allow this tag to kind of hang over itself a little bit because I'm going to be putting it in my personal journal, so I'm going to probably just glue it down. I like this as a background accent maybe, and I also like this idea of these letters kind of maybe sticking out the side because you know, so much of what we all do and the reason we all come together is to celebrate paper art, and I think that to me should also just be sort of central in this piece. Okay. And then if I think about how I want my little Louisa to be, I kind of want her to be there. Then I don't want her to be just sort of sitting in space. I want to give her a bit of a cushion here of fabric, I think. And I sort of like the idea that maybe this flower will just be kind of like that. I think I want to add some yarn elements to this as well before I get too much further. And I know I'm probably laying down way more than I should at one time without gluing some things down, but I'm just trying to get a bit of a concept. So okay, I think I will go ahead and start gluing a few things down. So I know what I want to do, and I can actually just remove this stuff and feel comfortable that I know where I can put it. So I'll start by gluing these letters down, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac glue because this is paper to fabric. And I also just want to add a bit of ink to all of this because I'm planning to spray it afterward, and so I want oxide on here to give it more sort of texture. I'll just get my Fabri-Tac bottle here. Go. One. So those just kind of like that. And then what I want to do next is cut this into a tag shape. There we go, before we get too ahead of ourselves here. All right, and then the clock. So the clock will go here. Okay, and then I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac glue for the next element because it's paper to paper, but I also want it to really stick. Our glitter glue is also pretty decent for fabric to paper in, you know, smaller doses, like just ephemera making, not like actually binding a book. But so I want that in the background on top of the clock right there. And I think I forgot to do a bit of inking, so I'll do that now. Just add a little heavier ink around the white edges of the sunflower. And then I know I want a butterfly off to the side here. Okay. Alright, and then I think this will be next, this little bit of stitched kind of paper cluster. Okay, and then we're approaching where we want to put the focal point down and all of this fabric. So let me just get my glue bottle ready over here. And again, I just want to thread this flower through here so it kind of sits like that. And that will be our focal point right about there. And I want the fabric to kind of be ruffled under her a little. So I'm going to work on the fabric first. So just get kind of the first layer down and then flip it up, add glue to the back here, and then just create that sort of ridge or ruffly bit. And then I'll begin to glue this. So first I'll just put a little bit of glue on the back of the sunflower so that it sticks to our little person. Okay. This there. And just kind of begin to press down all of the little bits, especially this on top of the fabric, till everything feels like it's sealed down. Okay. And I really love this piece, but I don't know where my hole punch is to punch out these little holes, so I wonder if it would look okay if I just inked it and just kind of filled them in. I think so. I just like the shape of this, so I would like to use it somewhere if I can. Maybe over here just as like a little side embellishment. There we go. And then again a little more ink on this sunflower. or maybe it's a daisy actually. Alright, now I want to add some yarny elements here, because that's kind of the thing that I think is a little more of a signature to me, because I'm a crossover fiber artist and paper artist, so I sort of feel like adding a bit of fiber is always a good thing. Oh, this glue bottle. Okay, and then I may add a little more up here around the edge of the clock. There we go. Okay. And then I think I want to add like some kind of maybe metal element or something like that. Or out of the way here. Just reaching over to some of my little bits of metal things. These are rings. We have a few cogs and stuff. That could be great. Okay. Here we go, just taking apart a piece of jewelry as well. This little bit here and these. Just have a few cogs kind of peeking out here and there. Kind of like that. And this little bit just to add a little something. Might even be cute up there too. Although I kind of think I like it down there. So I'm going to add the metal bits using the Fabri-Tac glue, because it's good and strong for holding like heavier things. Okay. So this feels nice and layered and busy. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a little break to do some stitching, because I want to add some stitching on this as well, and then I'll come back and probably do a bit of a coffee spray and dry. Do we need anything else before I do this? I don't think so. I think that I'm happy with this, the elements here. Okay, I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so I'm all stitched. So you'll see I've used zigzag stitches in just different places. I used my stitching kind of both as keeping the edges of the fabric down, but also as decorative. So I used zigzag stitch through the majority of the piece in different places. I went around the clock, and then I used just a straight stitch around the little letters because we do so much paper sewing. I felt like that was a nice little detail. So what I'd like to do now is just a little bit of coffee spray. And today I have this bag here, so I might as well just use it as a bit of a shield for my coffee spraying. So this is just coffee and alcohol, and I'm just going to spray the whole thing here. And then I'll pop it out of this bag and just lay it back on my table so that it can lay flat to dry. And then I will come back once this is dry and show you the final piece and maybe say a few things. So I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. So I have sprayed this with the coffee. As you saw, it's dried. Then I took a little bit of my Marabou acrylic spray. I just wanted to add a little bit of tealiness to this. It's just one of my favorite colors, teal and gold. I just really like. And so I also added a little bit of gold around, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So that concludes this little tag making video, and to just say congratulations to Louisa, and I hope that you know, the community just keeps growing and having so much fun. I have loved every collaboration I've taken part in since starting this little journey for myself. I've met so many fun people, and it's really nice to just have like such a sharing group of artistic, creative people, and also just really nice, kind people leaving comments, and you know, we're all kind of learning together, and I really like that. So thanks everyone so much. I hope you have a really nice day and that you're getting a little bit of spring wherever you are in the world. Bye for now. I will see you very soon.